staring at the back of someone's bumper isn't the best way to end your day. So Jack in the Box is giving you a bonus with their new Bonus Jack Combo. Fries, a drink, and a burger with your choice of 1, 2, or 3 patties, starting at just $4.49. Get so much more.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The LA Sparks are playing like one of the best teams in the WNBA. They beat the Indiana Fever Tuesday night 100-91 for their 7th win in the last 8 games. Kelsey Plum had 25 points and 11 assists. Rickea Jackson also dropped 25 points. The Sparks are now just 2 games below 500 at 13-15. On July 3rd, they were 5-13 and showing no signs of being a playoff contender. The Sparks are at home Thursday night against the Connecticut Sun. The Dodgers beat St. Louis 12-6. Max Muncy and Teoscar Hernandez each had 4 RBIs. The Angels lost to Tampa Bay 7-3. Tampa Bay scored all 7 of their runs in the 4th inning. An oldie but goodie is coming back to the Chargers. Wide receiver Keenan Allen, who played his first 11 seasons with the Chargers, re-signed with the team for a 1-year deal. The 33-year-old Allen played last season with the Chicago Bears. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we aim to foster enlightening, sustainable, restorative dialogue, and we welcome unapologetically progressive viewpoints that empower fellow citizens. We are now accepting submissions for KBLA Talk 1580 guest editorials like this one.
With the KBLA Talk 1580 guest editorial, I'm Martin Gordon, chair of the Pasadena Community Coalition. Recently, I listened to a Tavis Smiley show conversation with James Falk. James said something that caught me off guard. Black out the Dina is gone. My community is being murdered. I said murdered.
All you have to do is go to our website homepage at KBLA1580.com and click on the icon that says KBLA Guest Editorials to learn more about our editorial standards and content submission guidelines. As long as the topic aligns with our mission, we are happy to review your submission and consider it for broadcast. We can't make any promises, but we want to amplify progressive perspectives that are community-focused and solution-oriented. So, go to KBLA1580.com right now to download all the information you need about our guest editorials. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
That's Jill Scott. I'm Tavis Smiley. Glad to have you with us in this hour of our program today. In this hour, a cross-generational conversation with Willa Robinson, founder of the historic Willa's Books in Kansas City, and Ryan Sorrell, founder of the Kansas City Defender. KC's oldest black bookstore is closing, but the mission continues. I'm delighted to have Ms. Robinson and Ryan on this program right now. Ms. Robinson, how are you today?
I'm fine.
It's good to have you on
Doing well.
It's good to have you on the program. Ryan, how are you, sir?
Doing good. Good to hear from you and appreciate you inviting us on here.
No, my delight to have you on. I wanted you on for a couple of reasons, not the least of which is that obviously as one who's written 23, 24 books in my life, I'm a book lover, not just an author, but a book reader. Voracious reader, and I have a soft spot in my heart for black bookstores. And it has been the case over the course of my career as I've written these books and been on tour more times than I can count, cities all across this country. I have always demanded and insisted that whoever was publishing said text, when they put the book tour together, that they made sure that I appeared and did signings in African American owned bookstores. I've done that for the balance of my career. I've never gone on a book tour. Whatever the cities were that I was appearing in, if there was a black-owned bookstore in that city, I made sure that the publisher had that store on my list for an appearance. So I've always felt that way. So I again have a soft spot in my heart for black bookstores. And I was just in conversation with Kevin Johnson, the former mayor of Sacramento, whose mother owned a black bookstore in Sacramento for many, many years. She passed not too long ago, God rest her soul. But I was talking to Kevin Johnson about a project he's getting off the ground to do more to support and to save black bookstores. I'll get Kevin on this program. Mayor Johnson, a great NBA player before he was mayor of Sacramento. I'll get him on this program to talk about the work that he's doing, which I've agreed to support on the committee, the advisory committee, to help support and save black bookstores into the future, the few that remain, and maybe bring some new ones online. But that's just a long way of saying that I love black bookstores, and I saw the story that Ms. Robinson was going to step down in Kansas City. But I wonder if I can just start this conversation by asking you to tell us, Ms. Robinson, how Willa's came to be. Take me back to the start of that bookstore.
Yes. It's a long and winding story. I never wanted to be a bookstore. I'm a book collector. And that's really how it got started. And the beginning of all of this was that my father was an avid reader. He read everything. He went to work every day, and then when he came home, he had some book or paper in his pocket. And so when I could get to it, like I tell everyone that when he brought the books home, he would read them. They wouldn't be for a little girl. They wouldn't be no fairy tales or anything.
Sure.
He brought in books, detective books. He brought in men's books, and so when he finished reading them, he would hide them because he knew they weren't really for me.
Right.
And so I would tear the house up till I found the books, and then I would read them. And then so it just started from there, because then he read the newspaper, and my arms were not long enough to hold the newspaper out like he did. So I had to fold it to get, you know the deal. I had to fold it because my arms were not long enough to read a newspaper. So all during my high school years, anything that we brought home, textbooks, my father would he would read them, and we'd have to take them back to school. But that was my earlier years. The beginning of the bookstore started when I lost a couple of family members. I always tell people that I know why people hoard. It's because they are trying to fill a space that has been emptied by divorce, death, or whatever. And so when my daughter and granddaughter was murdered, that's what I did. I had been collecting books, but then it became a passion after my kids were killed. And so that ended up with me having just a number of books. My house was full of books, and my husband wanted to know, what are you going to do with all these books? And so a friend of mine who opened up the bookstore with me said, let's open a bookstore. And that's what I did. In 2007, I opened a bookstore in 2007. My partner fell by the wayside, but I continued. In 2007, opened a bookstore. In 2012, I closed it down because I wasn't getting any customers. So in 2012, 2012, I just closed the store. I said, nobody's coming in. I'm pouring my retirement into this store, so
Yeah.
it hurt my heart, so I had to close it.
Yeah.
It was so my family helped me pack up the books and store them. And then in 2015, a friend of mine said, Miss Will, I know where they have a place where you can open a bookstore again. So that happened, and I was in a bookstore up until a few weeks ago.
Okay, and that's where we'll pick the story up when we come forward. Until a few weeks ago, we'll get Ryan involved in this conversation. You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
Generous listening. Charitable listening. It's why everybody wants to talk to Tavis. The conversation continues when we come forward.
Make a move into a home of your own. With City National Bank's Ladder Up Home Loan Grant, you could receive up to $20,000 that you never need to pay back. Use it toward your down payment, save on closing costs, or to buy down your mortgage rate. Find out more at cnb.com/ladderuphome. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Property must be in a qualifying market in California, New York, or New Jersey. Additional terms and conditions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. Terms are subject to change without notice. City National Bank is an equal housing lender. Member FDIC. NMLS number 536994.
You gotta dip your chicken strips. Hey, this is Kiani.
And this is Tabitha.
And a little thing we love about Chick-fil-A chicken strips
is all the different sauces we can dip them in. I like to line up all my favorite sauces so that in every bite, I have a different flavor. Then with the tenderness of the chicken, the juiciness of it, it's all there.
And for me, I like to mix my sauces so I get a little tang and I get a little sweetness all in one bite.
That's what makes it for me. Like, that's what does it for me.
That's what I'm saying.
It's the summer of Chick-fil-A chicken strips and sauces. Order now on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Hey, it's Matt, your leaf filter trusted pro. Gutters are an often neglected part of the home. They're also one of the most important. Clogged, overflowing gutters can cause serious problems like foundation damage or basement flooding, which can cost thousands of dollars to fix. Let's face it, cleaning gutters yourself is not only a hassle, it can be dangerous. But when you get Leaf Filter, you'll never have to worry about cleaning clogged gutters again. Get started today by visiting leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free inspection. If you decide to move forward, we'll professionally clean, realign, and seal your gutters before installing our patented stainless steel micro mesh system. Leaf Filter keeps out everything but the water. And it's backed by a lifetime transferable no clogs warranty. So you're protected for good. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help. Visit Leaf Filter today for a free inspection and estimate, and you could save up to 30%. Visit leaffilter.com/deal. That's leaffilter.com/deal.
Freedom is an endless meeting. So let's get back to it with Tavis Smiley.
Tavis Smiley and Willa Robinson and Ryan Sorrell. Ryan, you heard Miss Robinson pause the story at just a few weeks ago. So pick me up a few weeks ago, sir.
Yes, I think actually the better place to pick it up might be when we first connected with Miss Willa and just why our organization even thought it made sense to help to build this relationship and keep her legacy going. And that started, I would say, just a little bit over right around a year ago, maybe, when one of the members of our mutual aid team, which, again, we're called the Kansas City Defender. We're a media organization, but we're also a community organization. And so in addition to writing news and having newsletters and being active on social media, we also have a team in our organization that is specifically dedicated to things like we have a free clothing program, free grocery program. And one of the leaders of our mutual aid team, one of the organizers, her name is Nina. last year, she had been volunteering and working with Miss Willa, and she actually originally went into Miss Willa's bookstore looking for a job, and she ended up volunteering though. And then, as Miss Willa kind of explained, last year she was going also through some financial hardships. She's on one of the most segregated streets in Kansas City called Troost Avenue, which has a long history of gentrification. And Miss Willa essentially told Nina on our team that she was going to likely have to close the shop last year and sell off all of the books that she has been collecting over the 30 to 40 year time period. And so Nina came back to our organization, and we pretty much had an emergency meeting within our organization because we understood just how important what Miss Willa has been building over the past 40 years is for our community. Again, she's one of the only Black bookstores in Kansas City. She's the longest standing Black bookstore in the state of Missouri. And so we went to Miss Willa the next day, and we just really kind of begged her almost to just give us some time to see if there is anything that we could do to keep her from having to close immediately and sell off everything. And so she was willing to trust us and work with us. And so we pretty much began to partner as of last year. And that included helping cover financial costs, we also helped catalog over 20,000 book collection that Miss Willa has. That was kind of the beginning of our relationship working together. And leading up to now, a little bit over a year later, as Miss Willa was finally wanting to just fully kind of retire,
Sure.
which she'll definitely always be a huge part of the work that we're doing in the space. But as she's, preparing to officially retire, we had her retirement party, I believe about 3 weeks ago now, where people from all across the city, people all the way out from St. Louis, Congress people, the mayor, just all kinds of Black people from throughout the city who have been blessed by Miss Willa over these years. Just so many, probably at least 300 to 400 people came in just to say thank you, to buy, the last books before the shop officially closed down. And the next steps that we are planning is to continue Miss Willa's legacy. So we'll be launching a capital campaign within the next few months where we'll be purchasing Miss Willa's entire archive. And again, her archive includes first edition books from W.E.B. Du Bois, from Booker T. Washington, Paul Laurence Dunbar, Frederick Douglass. These are, again, first edition books that some of the very first books ever written by free Black people in the United States of America. Mm-hmm. And so this is really a historical landmark. And the reason that we're launching the capital campaign, this is probably the last portion here, but the reason we're launching the capital campaign is so that, again, we'll be inheriting her book collection, and we'll be transforming it into an archive rather than a bookstore, so people can come into the store and read and put their hands on these historical items that were written by our people so long ago, especially in the context of all of the erasure and attacks that are happening in our country right now, the erasure of Black education. We want this information to be very accessible for the people in our community. And so the space will function as an archive. But in addition to that, it will also be a home for those mutual aid programs that I mentioned, which includes our free clothing program, our free grocery program, and also our abolitionist freedom school that we launched earlier this year. That previously we had to rely on people in the community to lend us their spaces to run our freedom school, but now this will function as the physical space for our freedom school. And lastly, it'll be our first ever headquarters for the Kansas City Defender. So we're just very, very excited. The one last piece is that what a lot of people don't know about Black media and the Black press specifically is that the Black press actually used to be the second most influential institution in Black communities behind the Black church. And that was because of the actual physical, how they represented these physical spaces, these physical community centers. And so that's really a tradition that we think this is helping us step back into.
I didn't want to interrupt. I wanted you to get all that out, and I'm glad you did. Now I can start with a few follow-ups. I want to go back to the very beginning of what you had to say a moment ago, Ryan, and that is your reference to this most segregated street in Kansas City. When you said that we all have visuals in our heads of these streets in our various cities. This program is syndicated. I'm heard all across the country. When you talk about this being one of the most segregated streets in Kansas City, again, everybody listening right now can just imagine what that street looks like, because we all have those streets in our various cities, and we see, again, all across America, that gentrification, to your point, is as real as rain. Tell me more about this street. I want to ask Ms. Robinson in a second. You first, Ryan. I want to ask her in a second how she found her way on that street in the first place. But just tell me more about the street first, Ryan.
Yes. So the street itself is called Troost Avenue, which is named after a slave owner named Benoist Troost. He owned various enslaved Black people, and the street itself became segregated because of a guy named J.C. Nichols. And J.C. Nichols is actually the architect of redlining in the entire United States of America. Redlining actually started here in Kansas City, and it was exported throughout the rest of the United States. And so this guy, J.C. Nichols, who was the architect of redlining, one of his first projects was Troost Avenue, where the bookstore is located. And there's just a lot of history, a lot of amazing Black organizations that continue to exist on this street and that have continued to resist on this street. But that's just a little bit of the history about how the street came about.
Yeah, Ms. Robinson, is that where you were there for years? Obviously, is that where you wanted to be? Was that by design?
It was not by design. It started like I was in a building.
Mm-hmm.
And someone bought the building. And so all of the people that were in the small business where we were, it was like 180 people that owned small business in the building where I was.
Right.
But he closed the building so that we all had to go out and find a place to continue our business. And so it took me a year to find a place.
Mm-hmm.
And where I ended up was on Troost Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
There was a young lady who owned a nail shop, and she wanted to move in another area. So we came together, and I rented her space.
Got it.
She owned the space, but I rented it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I am on Troost. It wasn't by design. It's just I had no place else to go.
I get it. Let me ask you this. I started this conversation talking about my deep and abiding love for Black bookstores, Black-owned bookstores. Let me just ask you, and I could ask this, and I likely will, over the next year or so, ask this question of a number of Black bookstore owners. As I mentioned earlier, Kevin Johnson, former mayor of Sacramento, former NBA great, has started an organization in honor of his mother, who owned a bookstore for years until she passed away recently in Sacramento. An organization to support and to get behind the remaining Black bookstores in the country. But let me just ask you directly, Ms. Willa, why, based on your experience, why do Black bookstores have such a hard time?
To be perfectly honest with you, you have to have someone that, just take for instance, if you are in a home where there are no books, you will not be a reader.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of our homes, we don't have books.
Yeah.
I mean, just books.
No,
a magazine.
Yeah.
Anything. If it is not important to the parents, it's not going to be important to the children.
Mm-hmm.
So I think another thing that has happened is that we have relied on the public school system to teach our kids instead of teaching them ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And so reading to me was like a lifeline. I lived in the country and there was no TV there. The only thing that we had was the radio.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to entertain myself, I read. And then we need to write more books about our experience.
Yes, yes.
As one of the things that I have maintained over the years is that we do not write books for young Black boys or for Black boys, period.
That's right.
And if you don't have books for them, how are you going to pull them into reading?
Yeah.
If you don't have an experience, as someone said the other day, we don't have the other group. They have heroes for their kids.
Yeah.
Books about heroes. We don't have that.
Yeah.
So I just think we need to just overrun our kids with books and the experience of reading.
Yeah.
They don't know how important that is. And if our parents don't teach that, how are they going to get it?
No, I get it. If there are no books in your house, you're not going to be a book reader, much less a book lover.
Yes.
It's pretty basic and rudimentary. I get that. Let me just ask right quick here. I'm watching my time. We got the rest of this hour, but I got about 2 minutes right now, and I want to just get this out right quick. Again, I'm not just an author or just a reader. I'm a book collector myself. And I have a nice collection of first edition copies of a variety of books written by some pretty amazing people. And I got a smart audience, so they understand what first editions are. If you open up a book, if you're near a book right now, if you're listening to me right now, wherever you are, if you're near a book, and this is just a quick lesson on how book publishing works. So if you're near a book right now, just grab it right quick. Grab a book. If you're listening to me and there's a book near you, grab it. Somewhere on the first couple of pages of that book, at the bottom of the page, you'll see a bunch of numbers. It starts with 1 and may go up to 10. There are a bunch of numbers there. If you have a book in your hand right now and you see the number 1, if you can actually see the number 1, then you have a first edition copy of that book. Plus, these days they will write in the book, it'll say first edition. But that number 1 in that book suggests that you have a first edition copy. If the 1 is missing, and you see it starts with 2 or 3 or 4, then you have a second edition copy or a third edition copy or a fourth edition copy. That's how you know when you get a book, whether it's first, second, third edition, etc., etc. So a first edition copy of a book is always the most valuable. And for book collectors, we look for hardcover books. We look for first edition copies. I'm out of time now because I've talked so long. When we come forward, I want to ask Miss Willa how she went about finding all of these first edition copies. You heard Ryan mention earlier some of the books, some of the authors, Du Bois and Paul Laurence Dunbar, and he ran a bunch of names of these great writers, these iconic African Americans. And their books, their first edition copies that Miss Willa has in her collection. I'm just fascinated to hear how she went about finding and collecting those first edition copies of these iconic texts. We'll start there when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
Why does Tavis say when we come forward? Because he's not going back. And you don't have to go back either. Forward ever, backward never. More of Tavis Smiley when we come forward. Forward.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. California Democrats may back Governor Newsom's call for a special election to regain redistricting power.
That's what's at stake, and that's why we're putting a stake in the ground. We're not drawing lines to draw lines. We're holding the line on democracy.
The move responds to Trump urging Texas Republicans to redraw maps. Baltimore County Council rejected Khadijah Walker as Inspector General in a 5-2 vote, sparking controversy. Despite her 20 years of experience, concerns over her investigative background and bypassing incumbent Kelly Madigan led to the decision. And over a decade in development, Even Me, The Journey, a powerful documentary by Black doctor Megan T. Ebor, is now streaming on Prime Video. It follows older Black Americans living with HIV, spotlighting resilience, stigma, and the power of voice and representation. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Spending 2 hours staring at the back of someone's bumper isn't the best way to end your day. So Jack in the Box is giving you a bonus with their new Bonus Jack Combo. Fries, a drink, and a burger with your choice of 1, 2, or 3 patties, starting at just $4.49. Get so much more.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The LA Sparks are playing like one of the best teams in the WNBA. They beat the Indiana Fever Tuesday night 100-91 for their 7th win in the last 8 games. Kelsey Plum had 25 points and 11 assists. Rickea Jackson also dropped 25 points. The Sparks are now just 2 games below 500 at 13-15. On July 3rd, they were 5-13 and showing no signs of being a playoff contender. The Sparks are at home Thursday night against the Connecticut Sun. The Dodgers beat St. Louis 12-6. Max Muncy and Teoscar Hernandez each had 4 RBIs. The Angels lost to Tampa Bay 7-3. Tampa Bay scored all 7 of their runs in the 4th inning. An oldie but goodie is coming back to the Chargers. Wide receiver Keenan Allen, who played his first 11 seasons with the Chargers, re-signed with the team for a 1-year deal. The 33-year-old Allen played last season with the Chicago Bears. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
I'm Reverend Gerald, the life coach. Is someone you love struggling with addiction and mental illness? Is improving your family's health important? Want to leave a legacy that your family can grow? Are you ready to enhance your perception of life experiences? Then wake up weekends at 7 a.m. with Urban Family Focus and get the wisdom, opportunity, resources, and motivation to live your best life. Join the conversation on Urban Family Focus Saturday and Sunday at 7 a.m.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black. This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Paid for by government.com. Did you know? The United States Mint has issued a new Morgan silver dollar coin in proof condition for the first time. Not only that, they are also minted in 99.9% pure silver for the first time ever in history. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone that knows the enduring popularity of Morgans. But you must hurry. Only 400,000 of these legal tender silver dollars were issued. These first ever Morgan silver dollars are brand new with stunning mirror-like finish, minted by the iconic San Francisco Mint. Call now and you're guaranteed a new first ever 99.9% pure silver proof Morgan dollar. To learn more, call 1-800-973-9717. If you order now, you will receive a free coin collector bonus pack, a $25 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-973-9717 now to secure your new Morgan silver dollars before they are gone. That's 1-800-973-9717.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide Free and Gentle provides an excellent Tide clean, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues like dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on your skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months, and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at USO.org today.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
Charmin Ultra Strong. You can use less, better than the rest. Charmin Ultra Strong. Your booty past the the clean text. Diamond wave texture, it's the best. Study up, teach a lesson on fresh. Your booty past the clean text. Yes, sir. Charmin Ultra Strong.
Charmin Ultra Strong with diamond weave texture cleans better than the leading one-ply brand, so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Less monologue, more dialogue. Tavis Smiley continues right now.
It does indeed with Willa Robinson and Ryan Sorrell. As we talk about Willa's books, historic bookstore, Missouri's longest standing black bookstore, is no more, but to the rescue comes the Kansas City Defender. Ryan and his team, and they're going to take this bookstore and take these books and turn it into an archive. So in the years to come, folk will have access to these texts as an archive, not necessarily a bookstore. But as I said at the top of the show, in case you weren't listening, I have a soft spot in my heart for black bookstores, given that I've written so many books and appeared in so many signing books over the years. And so it's kind of funny. You'll appreciate this, Miss Willa. So during that commercial break, I went down the hallway into my library, and I pulled out a couple of books because I'm looking at my board op, Miles, and looking at my producer, Faraji, and they're like, we never knew that. And I said, oh, I'm glad I shared that information then about how first edition copies work. So I ran down the hallway and grabbed two books, and one of them, in fact, had typed in it on the second page, first edition copy. And another book had the number system, 1 through 10. I said, see, the 1 is present. You can see the 1, so it's a first edition copy. So I hope that little lesson about our first edition copies work, was impactful for some people who didn't understand, again, how the publishing business works. That said, I am always fascinated. I was just sharing with my team here. I have a number of first edition copies in my collection. One of my favorites is I have a first edition signed copy of Stride Toward Freedom by Dr. King. So I have a first edition signed copy by him, and I've got other books like that. But I'm fascinated by how over these years you've gone about collecting so many of these iconic first edition copies. Tell me how have you done this?
Mr. Smiley, I wanted to share something with you.
Sure.
I picked up one of your books, The Covenant with Black America. Mm-hmm. And it said, but did you also know that parental involvement is still one of the most significant contributors to the academic success of African American students? Mm-hmm. So you already had that in your
book.
writing.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to share that with you.
No, I love it. I love it when I have a guest on the program and they take my book and read it back to me. They use one of my books as Exhibit A to make the point they want to make. I ain't mad at you. I love that. And I must say that of all the books I've written since you went there, I've written, 23, 24 books, as I said, and The Covenant is one of my favorites, and it is the book that I've sold the most copies of. I mean, the King book sold a whole lot, and I have other books, of course, that have been on the New York Times bestseller list. The Rich and the Rest of Us that I co-authored with Dr. Cornel West sold a bunch of copies, New York Times bestselling book. I've been honored to be on there a number of times, but that Covenant book sold millions and millions and millions of copies, and all the money I gave away. That's the one book I didn't make a dime off of. I donated all the money from that book. I didn't want people to think I was writing a book that was a blueprint for Black America just to enrich myself. My lawyer and my accountant are still mad at me for giving all that money away for the millions of copies that book sold. But I'm glad to hear you reference it, and I appreciate you saying that. So back to my question. How have you gone about collecting all these iconic first edition texts?
Okay. In 1978, that's before I wasn't into selling books.
Right.
But I was a collector, and I worked for the post office for 31 years, but most of the time I was by a bookstore. Mm-hmm. And in 1978, during my lunch hour, I would go into the bookstore and look for Black books. That was in 1978. So whatever, anything about Black people, I bought. And when my job moved me in 87, I was by the Salvation Army. Mm-hmm. And the Salvation Army had wonderful books. And one of the reasons that I was in the Salvation Army, that I had got saved, and so I wanted books on the Holy Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
It always fascinated me, the books on the Holy Spirit. So whenever I went to the Salvation Army to look for books on the Holy Spirit, there was always books about Black people there.
Mm-hmm.
And so I gravitated to the Black books.
Sure.
And they had wonderful books, and that extended my knowledge of how many books, because I didn't know how many books. I wasn't aware of how many books that Black authors had written. I had a small idea about Black, but it expanded to a lot of books.
Yeah.
I went to Salvation Army, anywhere there was books. I went to thrift stores. When I went on vacation, I went to thrift stores because that's where the old books would be.
Yeah.
Estate sales. And then I had friends who knew that I was a collector. And when they found something, they brought it to me.
Wow.
And that is how I collected so many books. And as I was telling you before, that because of the death of my children, I needed something to do with my hands, and locating books about Black people were the thing.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about what your daughter and your grandbaby was it your daughter and granddaughter? Is that correct? Your daughter and granddaughter?
Yes.
Have you ever thought about what they would think of all that you have accomplished and done in their honor and their memory?
Well, I really never thought about it. They were. My daughter was like 33 years old, and she was just in the midst of getting her degree. She had gone back to school to get her degree. And her daughter was 13, and she was a very smart and intelligent girl.
Yeah.
So just the space that was empty, that just it took me a while to get over that, but now I can tell you about these two wonderful people.
No, I say all the time, we never close on the death of a loved one or loved ones. In your case, like we close on a house, you don't ever close on that.
Never close.
Yeah, I understand that. But I am just tickled. Got goosebumps. I did not know that was part of the backstory of how this bookstore came to be. That you were trying to occupy your time, having lost your daughter and your granddaughter. But it's a great tribute. I can't imagine a greater tribute to them than to have built this bookstore, Missouri's longest standing Black bookstore, in part or in large measure because of the loss of your daughter and your grandbaby. I want to come back to Ryan right quick. Ryan, you mentioned some names ago. Just for those who may not have been listening at that time, just run some of those names again of the first edition copies that are in this collection.
Yes. So some of the first editions that Miss Willa was able to collect include first editions by Frederick Douglass, Zora Neale Hurston, Paul Laurence Dunbar, Booker T. Washington, W.E.B. Du Bois, and Langston Hughes are just a few of them.
Wow. That's a serious collection. I'm jealous, Miss Willa. I am so jealous that you have all those first edition copies of those great writers. It's an amazing story, and we'll get more of the story when we come forward. She has decided to retire, but that collection is pretty amazing, and I am so grateful to the Kansas City Defender, to Ryan and his team for stepping in to take this bookstore and to take these iconic texts and turn it into an archive for readers in Kansas City or those who visit Kansas City. More of this conversation when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
Hope, agency, dignity. This is Tavis Smiley.
Can you dig it? Come on!
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up.
Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Susan, I'm sorry I'm late. Traffic is terrible.
It sure is. But on top of that, gas prices have been skyrocketing. I can't believe how expensive gas has gotten recently.
Prices at the pump are up, but I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
And does that actually add up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code GOLD for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code GOLD for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code GOLD for 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up.
More honesty than you can handle. More empowerment than you can imagine. You're tuned in to Tavis Smiley.
Here's a funny story for you. So during that break, Miles, my board op, having heard me talk earlier in this hour about how book publishers identify on the inside of books whether it's a first edition, second edition, third edition copy of the book. Obviously, first editions are much more valuable. And by the way, if you are want to get into book collecting, when you do get books signed, all you want is just the signature of the writer and the date. That's all you want. It's just a signature and date. I tell folk all the time, I'll sign a book and they'll say, "Can you write this? Can you write this? Can you write that?" I say, "Yeah, I can. I can do whatever you want to do. You're buying the book. I'm happy to write what you want." But the value of the book increases exponentially if you only have literally just the signature and the date. That's what you want. The author's signature and the date, it increases the value of the text. All that other stuff diminishes the value of the book. But Miles, in the break, asked me, he said, I wonder what edition of The Covenant Miss Willa has. It turns out, I had Faraji ask her, she has a first edition copy of The Covenant with Black America. Now, that thing sold millions and millions of copies, but she has a first edition copy. So, Miss Willa and Ryan, I want y'all to put me in there with Du Bois and Dunbar and all and all the other first edition copies you have. Put me in that category. That's where I want to be hanging out with them. Since it turns out that you actually have a first edition copy of The Covenant. Every book I write or have written, I always we always as a practice, Miss Willa, you'll appreciate this. As a practice, any book I've written, we always make sure the publisher, we get a number of boxes from the publisher and of the first edition copies, and those things are in storage. Okay. And so I always, for every book I've ever written, I have a stash of 2 or 3 boxes of first edition copies that I hold back for myself in case I ever need them. Another funny story right quick. So one day I was with, you'll love this story, Miss Willa. One day I was with Maya Angelou, who was like my godmother, and we were at a book signing, and I was with her that day and just hanging out with her. And long story short, a lady walks to the table, a long line of people for a Maya Angelou book signing. A lady walks up and she said, Maya says, "What is your name?" And she said, "Mary." And she was, you could tell she was nervous to meet Maya Angelou. And Maya signed the book Mary, Joy, exclamation point. She always signed books Joy, Mary, Joy, Maya Angelou. And Maya hands her the book and she starts crying. And these are not tears of joy. I'm like, what just happened here? You got the book signed, but now you're crying, and it was an ugly cry. And so Maya said to her, she said, "Baby, sugar, what's wrong? What's wrong?" And she said, You misspelled my name. You misspelled my name. And Maya said, "You said your name was Mary." She said, "It is, but that's not how you spell it." So Maya said, "Well, how do you spell Mary?" And she said Merri. And I'm looking at Maya, and I know Maya wants to cuss this girl out. That you told me your name was Mary. If your name is spelled Merri, don't you think you should have told me before I started signing it that it's not signed like Mary? And so Maya held her composure. She didn't go off on the girl, didn't cuss out. She said, "You know what? Here's what I'm going to do. For you, here's what I'm going to do." And this was a copy. This was a copy of Caged Bird. I Don't Know Why the Caged Bird Sings.
Oh.
And yes, one of those exactly. So Maya said, "You know what? You give me this book, give me your address, and when I get back home, I'm going to sign for you and send you one of my first edition copies of I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings." So that girl came up that day. She came up because she ended up getting in the mail an autographed copy, first edition copy of I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, and Maya just held on to the one that she had signed. So these first edition things do in fact matter. When we come forward in our remaining moments, I want to close by asking Ryan where they are in this process of turning Missouri's longest standing black bookstore into an archive. Where you at in that process, Ryan? That's where we'll close when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
What's your quarrel with the world? You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom, she started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you, when we fight, we win. The Youth Justice Coalition is challenging America's addiction to incarceration and discrimination. YJC works to dismantle policies leading to mass incarceration, law enforcement violence, and the school-to-prison pipeline. Their approach, transformative justice, community intervention, free LA high school, legal defense, and system monitoring. YJC promotes safety without relying on prisons. Their goal, prevent system contact and help people exit the system through direct action, advocacy, and education. Want to get involved or need help? Call 323-235-4243. That's 323-235-4243. Join YJC in creating change. When we fight, we win. KBLA Talk 1580, your voice for justice. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Nearly 7 million Americans aged 65 and older are living with Alzheimer's disease, or AD. But did you know that black adults aged 65 and older are twice as likely as white adults to develop AD? You may be able to reduce your risk by managing conditions like diabetes and high blood pressure, being physically active, eating healthy, and exercising your mind. To learn more about AD, the importance of early diagnosis and intervention, and a potential treatment option, visit treatalzearly.com. That's treatalzearly.com. This message is brought to you by AZI.
If you're like me, 60 and retired, making ends meet, especially here at the supermarket and drugstore, is tough. I'm so blessed to have found benefitscheckup.org. It's a free and confidential website from the National Council on Aging that connected me to $1,200 a year in programs that help pay for food, medicine, utilities, and more. Maybe it can help you. benefitscheckup.org.
You know where you want to go in life, and City National Bank can help. City National knows the dedication it takes to build your vision for the future into a reality, and our team is here for you. We have a wide range of options to help, from personal savings accounts to interest-bearing money market savings accounts and more, all designed to help you get where you want to go. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Learn more at cnb.com. City National Bank is a subsidiary of Royal Bank of Canada, member FDIC.
Helping to make you the most knowledgeable person in your circle of friends. This is Tavis Smiley.
Tavis Smiley and Willa Robinson and Ryan Sorrell. Ryan, I'll give you the last word in the 3 minutes I have left here. So where are you in this process of keeping this amazing collection in black hands on black streets, feeding black futures, sir?
Mr. Tavis.
Yes, ma'am.
Before, I need to say this. The Ryan Sorrell is the head of this KC Defender that is purchasing my bookstore and all that.
Mm-hmm.
These are wonderful people. They are a young group. They have helped me. They have kept me. And I just want to say thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Nina. Thank you, young people.
That's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing. That's a great way to close this conversation once we give Ryan the last word here. But that's heartfelt. And I know Ryan appreciates it, and all of our listeners appreciate you just jumping in right quick just to say that. We don't just hear you, we feel you, Miss Willa. All right, Ryan, the last word to you. Where are you at in the process, sir?
Yes, and I just wanted to say thank you again, Miss Willa, for even trusting us in this process and trusting us with your legacy also, and to help continue it. And as far as your question, Mr. Smiley, we are still in the quiet phase of our capital campaign, which, as I mentioned, our goal for the capital campaign is $500,000, which that's how much we'll be planning to raise once we launch the capital campaign. And again, all of that will go towards purchasing the entire 20,000, Miss Willa's entire 20,000 book collection. It will go towards the renovations that we'll be making in the space. We'll be putting a video production studio in the back portion. So that'll be very important for the media aspect of our operation. We'll be hiring a archival consultant who will help us build out the Black archive that we're creating. So there's still quite a bit to do. We're in the earliest phases, and in terms of actually transforming the space, we are going to have it phased out. And so these first phases right now, where our organization, the Defender, we're signing a lease with the landlord, a 2-year lease with the landlord. We're going to be doing some deep cleaning and just a lot of different structural things that are needed. That's kind of the earliest phases. But for anybody who's listening, and for anybody who is touched by this story, I definitely would implore people to reach out if they can support in any way. My email is ryan@kansascitydefender.com. Again, that's ryan@kansascitydefender.com, or our website is kansascitydefender.com. We have a contact form on there, and we very much are seeking people who really care. Again, just knowing the state of the country that we're in, the attacks on Black education, on Black literacy, we just could not imagine a more meaningful and important and urgent project to be taking on at this point in time. So for anybody who wants to support that, I just greatly recommend for them to reach out.
Give those, I'm out of time. Give those addresses one more time, Ryan.
Yes. My email is Ryan, RYAN, at Kansas City. That's fully spelled out, kansascitydefender.com. Or you can just go to our website, which is kansascitydefender.com, and you can just hit the contact form and reach out to us there. But thank you so much again.
No, my pleasure. Miss Willa, thank you for your work and witness all these years. I'm glad that your work will live on. But I want to just thank you for assigning yourself to do this work so that people in Kansas City and beyond could have access to these texts. I wish you nothing but the best in the coming months and years. Thank you for your time today, Miss Willa.
Thank you, Travis.
My pleasure. Ryan, thank you for coming to the rescue, you and the Kansas City Defender, to keep this rich Black history alive. Just like that, 3 hours gone. Back here tomorrow. Until then, thank